If you live in the UK and if you have a problem with mass immigration and the lack of integration in the country, you should consider yourself an opposition force to the ruling elite and the mainstream, your local government, every single thing that actually emboldens the government. And, well, the mainstream media isn't a part of it, but it basically is, right? They're playing their game. You are going to be labeled a far-right thug, or simply a thug, because you are a threat to their rule, their own power structure. Now, they cannot have it like that. That you cannot be a threat to them, so they are going to quell you with every possible mean they have. So I wanted to bring you to this article, right? Police brace for 100 more riots. Britain boards up and city workers are sent to work from home for the week amid fears tonight will be the busiest yet for chaos, as chief prosecutor warns tough sentences handed to thugs are just the tip of the iceberg. Police are preparing for more than 100 planned protests and 30 more further counter demonstrations today as far-right thugs listen. Do you see how they still use this rhetoric, right? These far-right thugs rhetoric. They're still doubling down on it, and they're wondering why people are getting more and more pissed off, and they're wondering why 100 more planned protests are on their way. It's just unimaginable the amount of ignorance these people have. Use social media and encrypted messaging apps to plan violence across the UK. Nearly 6,000 police officers have been drafted in after a list of 39 locations where the jobs could wreak havoc, including immigration centers, refugee shelters, and lawyers' homes emerged late last night. Leaked messages from what appear to be far-right Telegram channels show those involved threatening the lives of anti-racism campaigners, using sex slurs and exchanging tips on how to hood up as they prepare for fresh demonstrations today. Demonstrations or riots? Are they going to instigate a riot, or is the police going to make it a riot? I wonder, right? So you can see here, they are actually really boarding up several locations. This is in Bristol. This is where they actually toppled down the statue. Hang on, can I actually... Bristol... Oh yeah, I'm searching here. Yeah, I actually searched for it the last time. The bronze memorial to the 17th century slave merchant was torn down during a Black Lives Matter protest. Listen, they used protest when it was a clear riot in Bristol. So all four admitted involvement but denied criminality, saying the statue itself was a hate crime. They were cleared of criminal damage. So if you are on the left and if you are rioting and you tore down a statue, or rather if you tore down a historical landmark or a historical statue, whichever, you will not be charged with anything. Wonderful, right? It's just breathtaking, really. So this is the current state of things. So I wanted to show you this post, right? White man punches up police officer, 3 years in jail. You can just guess which one it is, right? The white guy here, the native. Muslim man punches police officer, breaking her nose, still not charged. Now this is, I believe this is the picture actually from the Manchester, was it on the airport security camera? This is the guy that actually punched a police officer and broke her nose too. I'm gonna bring you this other post from V actually. This is on X, and I really like V. You should definitely go follow him. And I quote, "Tensions are high. People are worried about two-tier policing." Starts the speech with "Salam alaikum," and this is not a parody or something. This is actually from the West Midlands Police. I'm gonna play it.
Salam alaikum. Good morning, everyone, and thank you to the leaders and elders that have afforded me this opportunity to speak to you personally. The reason I'm speaking is to underline my commitment on behalf of the organisation to protect all the communities across the West Midlands.
Is he representing all the communities when he starts the speech by "Salam alaikum"? No, of course not. He's actually pandering to the Muslim community or simply the non-native community that is around. It's just stupid, really. But okay. Take into account this is not just a random twat going up to a camera and saying what's on his mind. This is a speech prepared by a PR team that was vetted by many experts before it went live. this means that it's on purpose. My thoughts is that the government wants people to fight each other so that it causes a problem. That the government then comes up with a solution which is going to be fascism. Not quite sure if this is actually going to happen, but we're well on our way. People who think it's not going to work or individuals will rise up, all you have to do is to look at China and Russia and see that fascist countries are very stable and can operate very well. Also, Muslims who are celebrating, thinking that the Brits in power will just roll over and give them the country once fascism has been established. You need to realize that in a fascist system, any problem is easily dealt away with. The government can fix any grievance whenever it wants, just like China managed to own Uyghur problems with no issues. He is right when it comes to this. He's absolutely right. I'm going to show you this other video. Same thing. Pandering.
Well, assalamu alaikum. My name is Phil Hutchinson and I am the Superintendent for Greater Manchester Police based in Oldham. Obviously echo everything that...
These people, these speeches, they are just meant to pander to the people right behind them. The Muslim community. Nothing else, nothing more. The native Brit is basically sidelined in the two-tier policing system that we currently have, obviously. But it's just showing itself very clearly to us. And if you think it's not happening, you are very wrong. I want to bring you this last post from Tommy Robinson too. And I quote, "So 1 in 3 of the British population are far-right racists, according to two-tier care." Now this is obviously just like a joke or something, because it's not actually said in the article. But they label people who support this far-right. So it's just making fun of it. What he actually does mean, however, is that if 1/3 of the population would be far right, that would be a position only held from the perspective of a very far left position. It's just very baffling how this works, because if you would actually trust the Daily Mail, that would mean that there's actually a lot more far right activists or racists in the country than it actually is. It's just baffling. Okay, so I want to read this article. At least the headline, right? 1 in 3 Brits support this week's anti-immigration protests, and 1 person in 14 backs the rioting too. Shock poll reveals. A quarter of people say Muslims are at least somewhat responsible for the unrest. Now, this is a very good position to have, because you've actually seen countless videos of Muslims doing the exact same thing that these rioters, or simply the native population, has been doing. Unrest. But if only 1/4 of people actually believe that this actually happened, that is a very low number. It should be a lot higher, actually. We have seen countless of videos of this, so should pump those numbers up, huh? And 1 person in 14 backs the rioting too. It's not really surprising. Coming from the rhetoric of the government and the mainstream media, of course these people are going to be furious at the government. And this happens when they're furious at the government and they're not listened to. 1 person in 14 backs this. You should always condone riots, but it's easy to understand why this happened. It's very easy to understand why a riot erupts. You need the context. You need the context to understand it. I think I'll just leave it there. See you in the next video, coming up tomorrow at 3 p.m. or just 15 o'clock military time. Subscribe, like, share this, and I'll leave it there.